Hi, my name's Alyssa Sinise,
I'm Rachel Chambers.
I'm Shannon Amick.
And I'm Haley DeVoe.
and we're doing copyright and ethics. So, what is copyright? It is the right to prevent the unauthorized copying, adaptation, sale, performance, or display of creative works. The law protects all original works of authorship fixed in any tangible medium of expression. It includes types of literacy works, musical works, movies, other audiovisual works, paintings, drawings, sculptures, and other types of art, as well as computer software, technical drawings, maps, and even architectural works. It basically gives the protection to the owner for their work. And it's against the law to not give credit for someone else's work. You might have to cite it, you might have to pay a fee, or even get licensure. So, what are the possible consequences if you don't give credit to the person whose work it is? The infringer may pay a dollar amount of damages and profits. They may be fined from $200 to $150,000. You can go to jail. You may get fired from your job if you're a teacher. And you may even get kicked out of the school if you're a student. So, something that is part of the ownership is creations of the mind, such as inventions, literacy works, and artistic works, designs and symbols, names and images used in commerce. This is called intellectual property. Inventions is a really good example of intellectual property because it has to do with your mind. Another works that is not restricted by copyright is public domain. You don't need a license or a fee. This might be works that automatically enter because not copyrightable. Things like names, titles, slogans, numbers, government works and documents. And maybe works assigned to public domain by creators, or works entered because copyright is expired. The exception of copyright is called fair use. It allows someone to use material without gaining permission. You need a balance between the four factors. The first one is purpose and character. Nonprofit educational purpose is favored more than commercial use. Nature of the work, courts usually are more protective of creative works like poetry, music, art. Amount used, the more you use, the less likely you are able to use fair use. And for the effect on market or value of work. You're not likely to gain fair use if you could realistically buy or license the work.
There are some recommendations for students and teachers to work within the copyright laws. The first is to provide students with links rather than copies of pages. The second is that most libraries at schools pay for subscriptions. The third is to look for a Creative Commons notice, which specifies the rights the users have in using the copyrighted work. And finally, use information that falls into the fair use category. Here are some things that teachers can do to curb plagiarism and cheating. The first is to block pages like SparkNotes on the school Wi-Fi so students don't have access to them. The second is to turn documents and assignments in online and have them run through a plagiarism checker. And the third is to require students to provide a bibliography when handing in their work.
When students violate copyright or ethical principles, what we think can be done is if the student is younger in pre-K through fifth grade, you can have the student write a paper stating what I did was wrong because, and have them turn it in so the teacher sees their perspective and knows that they understand their mistake. The teacher can also verbally explain to them what they did was wrong and why it was wrong. They can talk to the parent so the parent is aware of their child's negative behavior. They can take away privileges in class, such as recess time and playtime. And if the behavior continues, they can create consequences. So, for example, a lot of elementary school teachers have behavior charts in their classroom, such as like a stoplight chart. So, moving the student up from green to yellow to red is usually fearful to them and teaches them bad behavior. And if the student is in junior high or high school, you can give them a 0 on the assignment. You can have them redo the assignment so they actually do it how they were supposed to, but do not allow them to make up the actual grade. And you can suspend them from a club or a sport, or you can also make them write an essay on what they did was wrong. And then what can teachers do to curb these types of violations? From our experiences and what we have seen, teachers who educate their students on copyright violations, as well as explain the severity of the consequences students will receive if they do not decide to plagiarize, helps reduce plagiarism. And students who are aware of how serious of an offense plagiarism is are more likely to do their own work and therefore learn more effectively overall.
So what are we as teachers allowed to use in our classroom? Material that's used for educational purposes. So therefore, if a teacher were to use just a video to play for their class because the class is getting restless or something, that's not allowed to be used unless it's actually for educational purposes and that's what they're studying. And material that has links rather than copy and pasted material. And there's also Global Grid for Learning, which is a program that is set up by the Cambridge University Press, and it offers over 1 million pieces of copyright-cleared digital information for teachers to use.
And these are our references. Thank you for listening.